a couple of months ago, we started recording an episode which we, after reviewing it, felt that we couldn't put out because it contained rather a lot of personal information about what we were both going through. However, we did have the beautiful Amber Denault come and record with us, and she did a beautiful poetry moment. So we wanted to honour her time and her craft by putting out a special bonus episode dedicated to the poetry of Amber Denault.
Take it away. We found out about Amber recently is that you're a poet.
She's been writing poems
in secret.
I think is that always how it starts?
I think so.
Everyone's just like tentatively hiding away writing their poems. I
think it is how it happened. Amber, I would love to invite you to share a poetry moment with us.
Yes, please.
So I've had several ups and downs recently. Back in April, I set my life on fire and broke up with my partner of 3 years. But it was something I needed because I didn't have the freedom that I need as a human being. And so because of that, I'm very up and down with my emotions. And I had... and I think I was having a really bad morning, and I think I was just sat at work, and this soliloquy from Hamlet just popped into my mind, and I was like, this is exactly how I feel, because it's all about seeing the beauty of the world and really just not giving a fuck, because you're so deep in that malaise.
Yeah.
It's like a miasma of like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
So
I know that one.
I would love to say it's from scene this and line number that, but I don't have that information on me.
That is totally fine.
Forgiven.
I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look, you, this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours. What a piece of work is a man, how noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor women neither. Though by your smiling you seem say so.
He's so emo. I love it. I love it.
Like,
I just love the idea that all the mirth is gone. Like, she gone.
No men, no women,
no
none
mirth,
of you.
Nothing. Don't want any of this. Vapors.
Amber, I had to ask you earlier on, what's a soliloquy?
So we did a very good demonstration, didn't we? Of just sat at a cafe table, and it's like, well, if all three of us were talking and I just kept dropping little comments to the side, those would be asides.
Oh, okay. If you talk to the camera like in Fleabag.
Yes,
yeah.
That's an aside, whereas a soliloquy would be like if there was a freeze frame and I just spoke my thoughts to the audience. So that would have been I can't remember what scene he's doing, but the action stopped.
No one's around in that, is it? It's I think it's him
So,
just being like, oh, my life's so miserable.
With an aside, do they not freeze?
No, it's just like a little comment. Like George does them all the time.
The whole time.
Are you doing them now?
Well, it could be.
They really don't work on a podcast because you have to visually see them.
Yeah.
So it's like a thought dump. So this soliloquy inspired you to do...
I mean, it's just one of my like little touchstones of poetry that I like to come back to quite a lot. No. But I do have 2 poems that have been recently written, one through sadness, one through anger, both directed at men.
Just as a gender.
Yeah,
okay.
I really feel that. No, that's not true at all. One's very much directed at gender as men.
Is this the dating world?
This is the dating
I think,
world.
I mean, directed quite specifically at specific
One
men,
is very specific.
But one of them's very general.
Yeah.
But yeah, we won't over-gender it, but no. I know what you're saying.
But men are trash.
Not all men, but men are trash.
I quite like men. men.
I know, we're
I mean,
really
I do
sweet.
quite like men, and that's my problem.
Skateboard going past. Wait a second.
Should I do the sad one first or the angry one first?
Sad.
Sad, then
Sad
angry.
first,
That's a
okay.
better arc, isn't it? Start sad and get angry.
So yes, it was also this podcast that inspired me to put pen to paper with writing poetry. So Ra, this is directly your fault.
Thanks.
So this poem is entitled Whitby. I catch the smell of wood smoke in my hair, taking me back to what never quite was. Enclosed in the woods, sunlight danced through the leaves, dappled on my pale skin, and I almost feel the caress of your hands. Mourning something that never was, nostalgic for the words you never said, grasping the memories we never created, feeling the touches you didn't make, the breaths that weren't caught in our throats, gasping for air, the wave of pleasure that will never crash against the shore of my body, making me undulate against yours, the mouths that will never meet, a cacophony of lips and tongues and teeth never to sound, simply not meant to be.
It's really beautiful.
Quite relatable.
It's really, really beautiful. Really good. Like, I love that.
It's
It's
quite
really nice.
visceral. Very visceral. That's beautiful, Amber. Hey, way to brain.
Yay!
Yeah, I love that.
Are you crying?
She sent these to me and I read them on a bus and I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, she's fine, I'm fine.
George, you're having emotion.
Yes, I have
Oh,
emotion.
babe. Oh, well done.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Yeah, that one was like a hard one. I've realised that
was
I'm
sad.
kind of writing poems how you would create a painting. So I kind of sketch out the ideas and then I keep coming back to it and pad and cut down
Nice.
and bring them all back together.
Do you want to do your other one?
Yeah, so this one's... So I did the sad and then I got angry.
I like that story for you.
So this one's very simply entitled Never Again. Should I learn to soften again? Turn myself warm, welcoming, kind. It makes it easy for them to slip their knife in, and to their indifference, I become blind. Instead, I'll build the walls higher, bristle with charm, wit, and vigour, apply my glamour, draw them in, take what I need and slip my own dagger. I can't be left cold if they never see the warmth. Kept at arm's length, barricades drawn high, my kind heart locked safely behind bars. For these men, not another tear shall I cry.
Oh, she's pissed.
Got cramp in my leg.
Oh, God. That's really good, Amber. I love those.
Thanks.
That's very cool.
The
And
emotion.
it is a big deal, I think,
I've stepped
sharing
inside
your...
your head a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a big deal sharing poetry, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's a very cool thing to do because it is. I think maybe more of. Do you know what it is? I think a lot more people write poetry than
Then they're letting on.
let
yeah.
on, and it. In the same way that lots of people make art without platforming it, and they just do it for themselves.
But then it just got like, this is what I say to my friend Nob in Ireland. I grew up with him in Dublin, and he's like, no, don't want to share my art with anyone, you know, just leave me alone, it's stupid. And I'm like, if you don't share it, somebody will still remain alone in a feeling that they might relate to through your work. Like,
Yeah.
hearing your poems there, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. I'm not going to cry for another man ever again. I get that feeling, and it's connective. And by putting it out there on our podcast or wherever you do, like, it's just really important to connect with people.
Yeah.
Art connects.
And anyone who's listening could hear that and be like, oh yeah, I relate to that, and it'll make them feel a bit better, which is important. That's nice.
I do like it.
Do you have a bit of poetry, Rob?
God, they're all trash what I've been writing lately.
No, but that's good.
This one doesn't have a title and clearly hasn't been edited. Terrible things happen to nice people, but terrible people hate being caught being shite. Hold on, start
Just
again.
say the swear words, he can't hear you.
Are you sure? Phoenix,
Yeah.
Phoenix. Okay. Terrible things happen to nice people, but terrible people hate being caught being shite to nice people. I'm nice, but I'm also a rat, and nobody likes a rat, said the terrible person. I'm telling on all you cons.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
like that.
I like that a lot, and it reads better with the swearing in it.
I know, but we had to put noise cancelling headset.
Mario.
Mario, 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 Mario.
That's-
I don't even think he's playing Mario.
See, we put noise cancelling headset on my child so he can't hear us. But at the same time, he keeps screaming randomly, not knowing the volume of his own. Anyway, I wrote that because people say that no one likes people who tell whistleblowers.
Yeah.
I have always categorically been a whistleblower. I'm
Yeah.
like, I worked in an old folks home, I won't say where, in Ipswich, but it was in Ipswich. And I kept going to them, you can't turn the heating off at night, that's how the old people will die.
Yeah.
And then there was just no shifts for me the next week. So that's why I've never had a job, really, in the past 10 years. But yeah.
But isn't it bad? Like, we do get taught that. I remember at school, like, don't tell, you're a rat. You're a rat, don't tell, you're not allowed to. And you're like...
But even the
but this
teachers will be
awful-
like, stop telling tales.
Yeah.
And you're like, I am being bullied.
Yeah, I'm not telling tales, I'm having a really horrible time.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything about it, and you're the responsible adult. Thank you for listening. That was the poetry moment of Amber Donalds.
Clicky.